Thank you, Vittorio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Distinguished guest, Professor Kitano, Dr. Natsume, Dr. Onjo, welcome to Sapienza. The welcome is on my side, on the side of our rector, who had an unscheduled event just at the same time with some people of the government, so he could come here. It's really a pleasure for us to host this workshop meeting by Sapienza and Sony, and for this I must thank our physics department, here represented by the director, Professor Mataloni, and our colleague actually working in Sony, Professor Vittorio Loreto, for this opportunity. I will be very brief because I will have to talk just later on about Sapienza. I would just to underline that our mind is very open to national and international collaboration. We are talking as two big entities, Sony and Sapienza, working on research and development in different topics, and so we hope, and this is our purpose, that by reciprocal knowledge among us, some additional and more opportunities of collaboration could come in the field of research and as well as in the field of technology transfer, which is a relevant field for all of us. Since this is the first joint meeting between our organization, I have the duty to present a little bit to you, which is the structure, and let's say in very short time, the most relevant activities that are laid out in our university. Hoping that, as Vittorio just said, that this reciprocal knowledge could lead us to some more effective new collaboration activities. So as you know, perhaps Sapienza is the largest university in Europe and is also the oldest university in Rome. And it has been founded by Pope Boniface VIII in 1303, and actually it has moved to this campus as the main central campus in 1935. The campus was designed by a famous architect. The name was Marcello Piacentini. The position in the town is a very strategic position, since Sapienza is more or less in the city center, very close to the main railway station, and so it's easy to come in when common activities are planned and must be made. About the organization, very briefly, the governance of the university is based on an academic senate, which is in charge for academic, scientific, and teaching issues. Then we do have an administration board, which is essentially in charge for financial and administrative issues, and we have, as all the organization, the administrative structure, which is under the supervision of our Director General. Actually, the Rector is Professor Eugenio Gaudio, which was the former Dean of one of our Faculty of Medicine. Some figures, just to give to you an idea about, not reading all the numbers, but about the number of students which are attending our university. There are more 100,000, actually 112,000. Of these, about 8,000 are coming from abroad. We do have more or less 4,000 of academics, professors and researchers, and 4,000 of people working in the administration. 150 for teaching as first cycle bachelor, and more or less 110 as second cycle master. 81 postdoc PhD course, and 240 professional master degrees. The organization is divided into faculty and department. Actually, we have 11 faculties, and they are architecture, arts and humanities, civil and industrial engineering, economics, information engineering, informatics and statistics, law, mathematics, physics and natural science, medicine and dentistry, medicine and psychology, pharmacy and medicine, political science, sociology and communication science, and we do have also two advanced schools, one for students the Advanced Studies School, and another one is a school which has a very focused topic, because it's on aerospace and space essentially, and it comes from the experience of our colleague Luigi Broglio many years ago, taking into mind that Italy, by all the activities of these colleagues in the 60s, was the third country to launch a satellite in the world. The faculties are divided into departments, and actually all the departments are 63. And then we do have also interdepartment research center, which are focused on specific topics. Actually, there are 24. And then 3 university hospitals, as well as 3 faculties of medicine, 55 libraries, and 21 museums. So it's a very broad organization. Sapienza is present in all major international rankings. The last figures given by QS put our field of study in classics and ancient history as the first in the world, but the rank of our physics departments is always the best in Italy, and always within the 50 in the world, also in this last ranking published. And for the World University rankings in 2017, Sapienza was defined as the first university in Italy. We are member of many inter-university European and international networks. Just to, not to mention every of them, just 2 of them. UNICA, which is the network of the University of the European Capital. In this case, since 1.5 years, if I am right, the president of the UNICA network is a colleague of Sapienza. Then we are very active also in the network of University of Mediterranean, and in this case we do have the vice presidency. How it is organized in terms of studies, depending on the Italian defined by law organization. We do have a 4th cycle, generally speaking 3-year based, which is corresponding to the bachelor. Then we have a 2nd cycle, 2 years based, which is corresponding to master. And then we do have the 3rd cycle, which are specialization school or PhD. According to this general organization, we do have also some single cycle organized on 5 years course of studies, and medicine and surgery, which is organized on a 6-year cycle, according also to European law. Many of our programs are in English, actually not all, actually they are more or less 30. Here you do have the list, and they are in the architecture field, economics, engineering, like for example mechanical engineering, transport system engineering, artificial intelligence and robotics, computer science, control engineering, data science, etc. Some are on the aerospace field, humanities, law, political science, and pharmacy and medicine. And these are all organized in English, even though there is the possibility to catch, let's say, single modules in other teaching degrees, which are taken in English for our foreign students. Of the 81 PhD courses which are offered by our university, 5 of them are international PhD courses, and they all are based on call for applications in terms to recruit students to come in. We do also offer some service to foreign students regarding accommodation, libraries, and support where it is needed. About the international activities, Again, some figures just to give to you an idea. We do have more than 700 framework agreements and about 500 executive protocols, and 170 international agreements for student mobility not coming from European Union. At a glance, as an overall, all the bilateral agreements are about 1,600, and actually we have more or less 2,000 outgoing students and 1,000 as incoming students coming from abroad. Very active is the university in the field of European programs for student mobility. You perhaps know that there are some programs supported by the European Commission which are called Erasmus and Erasmus Plus, Erasmus Mundus and Tempus, and we do have many projects running inside this field led by our colleagues as professors. About research, here just to give you some, again, very short feature. In the period going from 2007 and 2016, regarding to merit reaction, which are funded by the European Commissions, we had the income of higher than 30 million euros. In terms of project funded under the 7th framework program and under the new 2020 program, we are actually about 56 million of funded projects. Projects which are funded at national level are about 40 million, and this project includes projects funded by our Ministry of Research and Education or our Ministry of Economic Development, or contract which we do have with the industries, and so other projects which are not public ones. On the budget of Sapienza, the direct contributions in the last consolidated year for PhD was about 30 million. And in terms of, let's say, intellectual property rights, we do have actually our portfolio being composed of 275 patents, of which 104 are internationally extended. Takes into account that our policy, due to also our big numbers of colleagues, is in terms of patents is very strict. I mean, there is a very severe process selection, and we support with our internal funding only that applications which have really relevant possibility to be transferred at industrial level. Then we do also have spin-off and startup. At this moment, with the same criteria I told to you for selection of patents, we do have running more than 20 very small high-tech companies which are in the category of spin-off that is participated directly by the university, or startup that is recognized by our university. Some data about important European programs which are under the European Research Council. Here you find a table with the number of projects which have been won by colleagues in Sapienza or hosted by our university in the last years. Actually, we are the first Italian university in this area, just after the National Research Council as let's say, research organization has rated success in the European Research Council project. There are 36 with a balance, with a budget of about 40 million euros. We do also make, as university, enact some measurements to support by our funding on our budget research and development projects. And this is made yearly, and yearly we do publish a call for research proposal, internal research proposal, that means reserved only to professors and researchers and young researchers working inside our university, which is about 11 million euros. Then we have also a call for the acquisition of relevant equipment, which is as an average 2 million per year. This is a measure for which we intend to support, as I said, the acquisition of relevant, very attractive instruments also for international cooperation, and which can be of use and interest of a large part of the community working inside the university, typically for multidisciplinary research topics. And we also have a call regarding the field of archaeology. We finance every year with a budget of about 1 million, which is added to other financial support given by our ministry for grid excavation. This is as other one, as and I told you before, one of our scientific area of excellence recognized worldwide. Then, as Professor Mataloni, the colleague Paolo, told before, there has been a measure supported by our Ministry of Research and Education to identify in Italy department inside university which could be which are defined as Department of Excellence. This was made according to our national evaluation procedure for research inside university, and of all the departments being existing in Italy, just 180 have been selected for funding. Each of them, to give you an idea, an average idea, have been funded with an amount of about going from 5 to 7 millions of euros for a 5-year period. And in this list, they have been admitted as funded department, the one which are reported here, the Department of Informatics, the Department of Physics, the Department of Drug, Chemistry and Technology, the Department of Earth Science, the Department of Molecular Medicine, the Department of Informatics, Automatic and Management Engineering, the Department of Psychology, and the one of Psychology and, sorry, there is an error, Development Process. These have been funded, but in the previous list of 350 departments in Italy selected to compete in order to have the possibility to present a project which was evaluated by a special committee issued by our ministry. There were also 9+ departments belonging to this university. And last thing that I want to underline to you, we do have actually another measurement. It is essentially a call made by our Ministry of Economic Development, which is devoted in the so-called area of Industry 4.0 to identify a maximum of 6-7 competence centers all over the national territory, all over Italy. And we are preparing, as a leading partner, a proposal which is coordinated with all the other universities of our region on the topic of the cybersecurity. This topic of cybersecurity will be, let's say, declined, looking to a central core dealing with the cybersecurity for all possible applications. And then we have identified 3 main pillars according to the presence of the private partnership, which are one related to space, the second one is related to automotive, and the third one is related to e-health. Also in this area, all our department of excellence which are competent for the scientific topics, like the Department of Physics, is involved. I just can tell to you, it's not a secret, we have not yet finished, but this morning we had a committee to select industrial partnership for this measurement, and we have actually selected 30 industrial partners which applied to participate to this measure. Some other will be added by next week, so it's a very important, a very big, a very competitive measure on which we are applying and on which we are hoping to have success. This just to give to you a very short a very short overview of our activity. I have nothing more to add, just to say let us increase our reciprocal knowledge, as I told you, because this could be a very good thing to do in order to collaborate in the next future. Thank you for coming.